we have the team from Servco Pacific. I want to welcome Sean, Tausif, and Leland for joining us today. And if you guys want to turn on your cameras, I'm also going to do a very quick introduction to all of you. So we have Lillian who just joined us. Hi, Tausif. And we will have, I'm not sure if Sean's camera's coming on, but let me just do a quick introduction to the awesome team from Servco who has been super supportive of this event, with 3 people showing up to share more about their company. So Sean Taras is the Director of Software Engineering with Servco Pacific. He has 25 plus years of experience in the software industry and is experienced in both desktop and mobile application development. Sean is passionate about mentoring and developing software developers as well as the software development market here in the state of Hawaii. And then we also have Tausif Islam, who is a visual analytics manager with Servco. And he has a really short profile, so he would like to share that he's a cat dad of 2+ years and he loves data. So he's your data guy at Servco, and Servco is doing a lot of amazing things using data to guide their business decisions and customer service and marketing and so on. Leland Kawano is the manager of talent acquisition and development with Servco. She has a decade worth of experience working in Silicon Valley and Honolulu with experience in talent acquisition and HR programs. Lillian is passionate about implementing new employee programs and seeing projects through from conception to implementation. So without further ado, I want to hand the session over to the Servco team. Are you guys using slides or do you need to use a screen share?
Thank you. I'll go ahead and share my screen actually.
Okay, cool.
But I wanted to mention Sean put in the chat that he doesn't have an option to turn on his camera.
Oh, this is strange. Maybe, oh, okay. I thought I promoted him. Let's see if he's back in the panelist side. Oh, here we go. Hi, Sean. Sorry about that.
No problem. Good morning.
Okay, so I'm going to let you guys take over.
Can you all see the PowerPoint on my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you so much for the introductions. What I'll do is just kind of quickly talk through an overview of Servco, why work for us, and then I'll hand it over to Sean and Tausif. They're really the main stars of today's event. And we'll let them talk a little bit more about the digital strategy team and what we're doing in the tech space, and we'll kind of focus on that for the majority of today. So I'll go ahead and get us started. So who we are, so Servco was founded in 1919 when Peter Fukunaga purchased a 2-car garage out in Waialua. And since then, we've just grown tremendously. So today we steward a number of world-class brands, so everything from Chevrolet, Toyota, Lexus, Subaru. We also have our car share program, and we've expanded into Australia as well. In terms of our operations in Hawaii, so our locations span across Oahu, and then we also have locations on Kauai and Maui. The blue and teal colors reflect Servco-owned locations, and the yellow are independent dealers. In Australia, we expanded to Australia in 2007. We currently have 23 dealerships across Australia. And we have about 1,000 employees out there, and same with Hawaii, about 1,000 employees here as well, so a total of 2,000 employees. Servco launched our car share program in 2018. It is the first global car share initiative that was launched in partnership with Toyota. Essentially, it's a round-trip, station-based car share program. Everything is through the mobile app, so you can reserve vehicles by the hour, by the day, lock, unlock vehicles, everything through the app. So it's a convenient way to experience the benefits of driving a car without actually the cost and hassle of owning one. Life moments, so we'll transition to talk a little bit about why work for Servco. Servco definitely values their employees. They they really want to focus on helping you create life moments that matter to you in both your personal and professional life. And we do that, we really focus on 4 kind of support pillars. So give, plan, grow, and live. Under give, we're really focusing on giving back to the community and giving back to our employees as well through different scholarship foundations. Plan, we help employees plan for their future, so through different 401k, employer match benefits, flexible spending accounts, etc. Grow, Servco really wants to help develop our employees, and we support their continuous growth and development at the company. So we do that through a variety of different development programs, and then we also offer tuition reimbursement as well. And then Live is focusing on their overall health and well-being of our team members. Company culture, so Servco really prides ourselves on our core values. This includes respect, service, teamwork, and innovation. These values guide and drive the decisions and actions of our employees. And like I mentioned earlier, learning and development is also a very important aspect of Servco. So we have our Servco University program. And then we're also very proud that our chairman and CEO, Mark Fukunaga, was named CEO of the Year in 2018 by Hawaii Business Magazine. It's really under his leadership that Servco grew to be the largest privately owned company in Hawaii. And lastly, we want to talk about Team Serve. So last year in 2019, Servco celebrated our 100th year anniversary, and we celebrated by giving back to the community. So over the course of the year, over $1.5 million was invested in various community projects across Hawaii. So we worked with a number of organizations, Aloha United Way, Habitat for Humanity, Hawaii Public Radio, and many more. So we definitely, as part of our life moments umbrella, we definitely focus on giving back, and we do that through Team Serve. Tosef also is a Team Serve participant, so he can definitely share more about this as well. And with that, I will hand over to Sean and Tosef to take it over.
I'm leading this, aren't I? Great. Well, thank you everyone for taking the time and joining us. We really appreciate it. And I love talking about my time at Servco. It's been fantastic. So let's jump right into it. We're going to be covering what Servco is kind of going through right now, which is this digital transformation. So if Lillian, if you could move on to the next slide. So, you know, for Servco, it's really important that we accelerate our digital transformation and try and be at the forefront of technology in the automotive world. I think if you take a look at, you know, traditional automotive brands, you'll see that they're pivoting. You know, I think GM said they were a technology brand, and now Toyota is a mobility brand. And I think it's important that we step into that space ourselves. And with that, we're trying to understand our customer, and you'll see that we're doing that with data, you know, how our customers purchasing vehicles and how our customers use the vehicles, and finally what mobility as a service and how does that fit in, and how we're utilizing Hui to do that. Finally, Hui's kind of this great prototype for the vehicle technology that we're looking into, as well as I would think our previous projects. Like if you think about our hydrogen refueling center, I think that was the first on the west. I don't want to misrepresent, but I mean, you'll find that I think for Hawaii, I think it's great that we have a hydrogen refueling center. I think it opens up a lot of possibilities for new technology, and you'll find that Servco has definitely been an adopter of new technologies. Cool.
That's just to cut in, I think it's the first and only private hydrogen station on Oahu.
Great, perfect, sweet. I think the Army may have one. I'm not sure if it's working or not. Cool. Let's move on to the next slide. So I think at the core of this, do you want to go back to the Servco Labs? I'll quickly touch on Servco Labs. So our founder, Peter Fukunaga, used to say, you can either grow or you can shrink. There's no middle ground. And I think this is really important as we think about the core values that Servco has. For example, continuous innovation is a core value of ours. And I think Servco Labs is a really good embodiment of that, which is kind of our research, development, and innovation arm, where it's kind of like our moonshot project arm. And we've been doing some great things out of Servco Labs, and I think a lot of things have been able to kind of move forward very quickly. With this, we want to treat it as a mindset. So by no means is Servco Labs an organization or a group specific to like one corner of Servco. I think the beauty of this is anyone that has a great idea or has a use case for a new technology or a new platform can bring it to our executives, bring it to our leaders, and quickly we can use the agile method to kind of vet it out, test it, and utilize it, and then analyze it as well. And I think we'll be able to talk about some of the platforms and technologies we've used so far. Cool. So our goals for Servco Labs, it's to be disruptive, and finally be agile and flexible, learn from everything that we're implementing and doing, and finally be a mobility and sustainability leader. And then finally create a sense of urgency within the organization for change. And geez, I think Sean, you could probably talk about this as we rolled out Roadster and how I think we took it from months to a few weeks. And I can probably touch on, what we've been able to do with the Roadster data and the platform itself.
Yeah, so I can cut in, talk about that a little bit. So because the pandemic hit in March, we had to fast track a lot of our initiatives that were kind of spread out over 2020 and 2021. And we needed to bring a lot more of what we call our omnichannel platform online really quickly, because dealerships were actually closed down. The brick and mortar dealerships were not open for business. So we had to give a way for our customers to be able to go online and view vehicles, configure vehicles, and set up appointments to purchase vehicles online. And that's what we call our omni-channel platform, which basically allows the customer to interface with whatever technology they want at any time to be able to go through their customer journey.
Yeah, and what's been fantastic about that platform is, we've been able to look at the data and, track our customers, see what they're interested in, see what vehicles they're interested in, so forth. But what's, I think, a really big benefit is, since we've been able to kind of stand up Roadster, we've been able to interact with our customers in this kind of crazy time, right? We're not sure if we're going to have specific regulations in place and our customers can walk into the door. But with this platform, not only has it assisted our customers in interacting with the buying process and looking into a vehicle and so forth, but it's assisted our sales consultants, because it's that kind of omni-channel, like mobile or in store, so they can actually communicate with our customers in different ways as well. So if they find a vehicle or a search results page that is really interesting, they can immediately share that with our customers. And what we've seen is, for a lot of our dealerships, our web sessions, whether I think it changes a little from brand to brand, but you'll find most of our mobile sessions 50% or more. So it's showing us that our customers are engaging with our mobile platform, utilizing kind of the shared out links our sales consultants have sent out. So I think this is a fantastic example of, how we had a sense of urgency, stand up something that was disruptive, and now we're seeing the benefits, and the feedback we're getting, I think, is really good.
Yeah, I'd also like to comment too that, the word disruptive usually has a negative connotation, but in our case, it's about mixing things up. Companies, especially companies that have been established for 100 years, sometimes get into a pattern of just doing the same thing over and over again. So when we say disruptive, it's like mix things up and then see if that new technique is beneficial or not, and then be able to pivot very quickly. And that's the whole idea of this agile and flexible process.
Definitely. I feel like once we implemented Roadster and some of our other platforms like Salesforce Marketing Cloud, Like, Servco is this beautiful 100-year-old ship in my eyes. It's gorgeous, and when it comes into port, people are like, wow. And then what we did was we just took jet rockets and slapped them on the sides. and slowly we're taking Servco into the future, and it's these small changes to our platform, to our business, and it's been fascinating, and it's been a lot of fun, and I think it really has to do with this mindset change, getting the right people on the right projects, and kind of focusing on our values. Cool. Let's move on to the next slide. So these are some of our focus areas, and as you can see, customer behavior is a really important one. And what's really important, what we've been doing is building on our data foundation, and something that I focus on. So we have a great platform called EMBARKING, which stitches together our customer data and creates a golden record for us. And it helps us, we not only utilize that data for our email campaigns, but to understand and do customer analysis has been really interesting, and very different from just maybe like 2 years ago for us. So the insights has been fascinating. Finally, vehicle operations and changes to our dealer operations as well. And as you can see, it kind of runs across all of the fields: data analytics, the agile process, mobility solutions, and of course, the digital transformation and customer experience.
And I'd like to chime in on vehicle technology a little bit. So starting in model year 2021, all Toyota vehicles will have a telematics head unit installed in them by default, which means that we can collect data, and the owners of those vehicles can have access to data about their vehicle, either through their mobile platform or through the website. So things like, tire pressure or GPS location, or, any engine alerts and things like that will all be available. So that's kind of a real exciting thing for our department, as looking into capturing that telematics data and how to responsibly use that telematics data to help our customer.
Great. So with our digital transformation, we're focusing in like 3 primary kind of areas and themes. One is that data-driven, personalized customer journey, which we're utilizing EMBARKING to create a great data foundation with good customer data, utilizing other platforms like Salesforce, Roadster, and specifically Marketing Cloud to kind of target those customers, creating a frictionless omni-channel experience. And that's our Roadster platform, as well as our kind of retail outlets. And for those of you that are still kind of maybe confused about that, let me give you a good example. Right now, you could maybe log onto your computer, go to roadster.com, find a vehicle at a Servco dealership that you really like. And from there, you may want to go drive that vehicle. So you could contact a salesperson, go to the dealership, try out a vehicle, maybe look at other vehicles, and then maybe you could go back to your house and maybe you want to think about it. But let's say you talk to your significant other or your parents, you're like, this is it, this is the car for me. At this point, you could get pretty close to purchasing your car online, if not putting in that full order. And this is the beauty of the omni-channel experience. It's service and sales how you want it. There shouldn't be a limiter in how you want to engage and interact with us. And that's really where the frictionless kind of word kind of plays up. And finally, platform agility and growth. I think utilizing platforms that are going to set up a good foundation to interact with our customers and support the business. And you'll see that when we talk about some of the platforms that we've picked up, we're trying to pick up platforms that are going to work well together and kind of build that foundation to interact with our customers in a better, more personalized way. For example, Salesforce Commerce Cloud, we're slowly switching over some of our websites, and we've done the Toyota website, and we're moving on to, Sean, like, keep me honest, I think Subaru. Have we done Lexus? Yep.
Lexus will be next.
Great. And then other platforms like Salesforce Marketing Cloud, utilizing that to target our customers, and feeding that is EMBARKING, our kind of foundation for clean customer records and reporting. And then what's worked out is our kind of analytics platform is Tableau, which recently got purchased by Salesforce. So now we kind of have this ecosystem that is kind of building off of each other. What I will say is the Tableau and Salesforce just kind of worked out. I like to tell people I planned it, but I had no idea that Tableau was going to get purchased. And now I'm looking forward to some of the things that are going to come out of that partnership. I believe there's a CRM that Tableau and Salesforce has. And I'm looking forward to kind of the integrated analytics piece, the Einstein analytics. Great. So let's move on to the next slide. So, let's take a look at our customer journey. I'd like to think if you were to go and purchase a vehicle in a very traditional process, it can be maybe overwhelming and not as easy. And all of it's done at the retail store. I think with creating a new omni-channel experience, we're giving our customers a lot more ability to review their purchase, gather the data that they need, and all of that is tracked so we can continuously engage with our customers. So if you take a look at this map right now, it's the beginning of the sales process, so the pre-purchase, the information gathering. We're utilizing Roadster for that. So Roadster is a great kind of pre-purchase platform specifically for auto retail. I wish we had enough time. I'd love to take you through it. I think engaging with Roadster compared to your traditional platforms, it's a world of difference. I think how quickly you can go from, yes, I like this car, to purchase, it's instantaneous. Being able to save vehicles, the filters on it are great as well. And what we've found is it's actually increased some of our F&I based on sales and averages as well. And then finally, our goal is not to just leave that customer at purchase, but continuously interact with that customer. Because we have their data on service, we can continuously engage them in some of our service promotions, our other brand promotions, as well as loyalty. For example, we have Lexus Perks. And with Lexus Perks, we're able to kind of engage our customers to come back and interact with Servco in a different way. Great. So let's move on to that. Yes.
Statistically, I think we found that in 2019 and 2020, a customer spends between 13 and 14 hours researching the vehicle online before they actually go into a dealership. So one of the things that Roadster does is really improve that time that they spend online to really target them to the vehicle that they actually want, and then provide that data to our sales consultants when the customer comes in. So they know everything that the customer has been searching, and they can kind of streamline and pinpoint exactly what the customer wants when they get in, make everything more efficient.
I think that's a really good point, and it goes back to that whole frictionless journey. If you've spent like 10 hours shopping for a vehicle and then you go into maybe a retail outlet, then it's just like the whole process again. I think Sean's right. The beauty of Roadster is you can look at a vehicle on your phone, you can save it, go in, talk to a sales consultant and be like, hey, I'm interested in this. And I think that's great. Really good point. So with our platform, what do we want to do? We want to make sure that we're covering all the bases for our customers, and making sure that we meet them where they want to be met. So making sure that they can discover the vehicles, engage with the platform, evaluate, make sure they can transact, whether that's paying for service or paying for a vehicle online. So with our digital roadmap, the first year was really getting the kind of building blocks and getting the team together. I think, there was a lot of reshuffling. I think making sure that we had the right people on the right teams, as well as hiring some external talents with specific platforms. And, really quickly, I'll touch on myself. I guess my bio was really short. I probably should have added a little bit more, but I thought you guys got what you needed. But, I'm from Seattle. My previous career, I worked at a boutique analytics kind of consulting startup where we did end-to-end analytics from data storage to data science, and then to finally data visualization and reporting. So, you know, this wasn't really a focus previously at Servco. So I came in, and the things that I've been able to do, like bring in Tableau, work with Imparity to provide customer analysis that we didn't have historically, making sure that when we have a new strategic initiative, that we can correctly measure it and say, yes, this was effective, or this wasn't, this was ineffective, and maybe we should move on. So I think, you know, that's what I'm bringing in. There was the build out of our digital strategy team. There was agile training, and then finally Sean joined us as our director of application development, and he has years in the gaming industry. So I think that's bringing in, you know, a different skill set and diversity of thought to kind of making sure that we have a good foundation to build out this new platform. And then finally, our click and mortar integration is the build out of our Roadster and Salesforce Marketing Cloud platforms. Sean, did you want to touch on this?
Yeah, sure. So I think we've talked about it quite a bit. We initially wanted to kind of slowly introduce this to both our customers and our dealerships, but because of the pandemic, we had to fast track it, and we actually now have this click and mortar integration in all of our dealerships, and we're actually also working with some of our dealership off-island dealerships that aren't Servco dealerships to implement Roadster as well. So this is basically this omni-channel experience where the customer can seamlessly move from online to the dealership and work with the sales consultant directly. And we're going to continue to do this over 2021, but probably that bar might be a little bit shorter than it is now, just because we had to fast track so aggressively.
I just want to point out, like, if you look at this timeline, it's over like a 2.5-year period that we would roll out this platform. Sean and I think the, you know, development team, they're absolute beasts. They were amazing. They were able to kind of push out Roadster, and they're going to Salesforce Marketing Cloud with haste. So it's been great. And I think, you know, I think to watch the team develop and actually kind of see the data of our customers interacting with our platforms. And then finally, as we build out our click and mortar, our omni-channel, you know, experiences, to kind of focus on the Servco experience and what that's going to be, kind of going back and leaning on technology, our mobility as a service focus, and so forth. Great. So let's move on to the next slide. And I think this is the last slide, and I think we're probably about on time. So digital strategy. So digital strategy is led by Pete Dewar. So Pete, he's coming to us from J.Crew. He did a few years at Accenture as well, consulting. And he's got a wealth of retail experience, which is fantastic. Because in a sense, you know, that's what we are. We're auto retail. So for him to come in and show us how, you know, a big kind of company like J.Crew is utilizing customer data and engaging with their customers has been great. So he's been a fantastic leader. With that, we have product management. I believe Brian is the director of product management, product development and quality as well. And then data visualization and analytics, that's myself. Data governance and security, that is Mr. Chi. Actually, are you product development quality? That's Sean. I thought I would have seen application development, it would have clicked. All right, there we go. And digital platforms, I believe that's Sheila. Great. So I think that I'm at time, and give me 1 second. So I think there was someone on the QA that asked to see my cat. So I'm going to do this, and we're going to switch out to the different rooms. So she's kind of food driven, but she's in her onesie right now. She's the worst intern I've ever had. All right, so hopefully, I think we're at time, and I think we're good to cut over.